San Francisco, 1974, a city of freedom and acceptance. But a darkness crept in with the fog. A killer stalked the night. Young men vanished, found lifeless, discarded. Panic gripped the gay community. Nobody knew who would be next. The killer was given a name, the Doodler. He was a phantom, a whisper in the darkness. He blended in, appearing harmless. He used his charm, his wit, to lure his victims. He drew them in, literally, with his sketchbook. They say he was a good artist. His talent was undeniable, a gift that seemed almost otherworldly. Each stroke of his charcoal stick brought his subjects to life in a way that was both mesmerizing and haunting. People would often gather around him, watching in awe as he transformed blank pages into lifelike portraits. His art was his voice, speaking volumes where words failed. That his sketches were full of life. Each drawing seemed to capture the very essence of his subjects, their hopes, their fears, their very souls. It was as if he could see into the depths of their being and translate it onto paper. His sketchbook was a gallery of faces, each one telling a story, each one a testament to his extraordinary skill. But these sketches were a prelude to death. Behind the beauty of his art lay a darkness that few could see. His drawings were not just portraits, they were harbingers of doom. Each face he sketched was marked unknowingly for a grim fate. The shadows in his art were not just artistic choices, they were reflections of his sinister intentions. The Doodler would approach men in bars. He was charming, disarming, with a smile that could put anyone at ease. He knew how to pick his targets, often choosing those who seemed lonely or lost. His approach was always the same, a casual conversation, a compliment, and then the offer that seemed too good to refuse. He would flatter them, offer to draw them. His words were like honey, sweet and irresistible. "Let me capture your essence," he would say, "a simple portrait, a moment captured forever." His victims, flattered and intrigued, would agree, not knowing that this moment would indeed be their last. "A simple portrait," he'd say, "a moment captured forever." But the moment he captured was their last. As he sketched, he would learn about them, their lives, their dreams, their vulnerabilities. Each line he drew was a step closer to their end, each shadow a hint of the darkness that awaited them. But the moment he captured was their last. Once the sketch was complete, his demeanor would change. The charm would fade, replaced by a cold, calculating gaze. He would lure them away, promising more conversation, more sketches, but in reality, leading them to their doom. He would lure them away, to the beach, to a park, under the cover of darkness. These places, once serene and beautiful, became the settings for his horrific acts. The sound of the waves, the rustling of the leaves, all became part of the sinister symphony that accompanied his crimes. And there, under the cold, uncaring stars, he would kill them. The night sky, vast and indifferent, bore silent witness to his deeds. Each victim, once full of life and potential, became another tragic story in the shadow of the sketchbook. The Doodler's art, once admired, now serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind even the most beautiful facade. 5 bodies were found, 5 young men, their lives cut tragically short, each one stabbed to death, discarded like trash. The police knew they had a serial killer on their hands. The victims were all gay men, all found in similar circumstances. There had to be a connection. The sketches, that was the key. The Doodler would draw his victims before he killed them. He would leave these drawings behind, a chilling calling card. The police began their investigation in the gay bars. It was a time of fear and uncertainty, and the bars, once a sanctuary for the LGBTQ+ community, became the epicenter of a chilling investigation. The police, often viewed with suspicion by the community, were now a necessary presence, combing through the dimly lit spaces for any clue that could lead them to the Doodler. They showed the sketches around, desperate for leads. Each sketch, a haunting reminder of the faceless terror that lurked among them, was scrutinized by the patrons. The police hoped that someone, anyone, would recognize the crude drawings and provide a breakthrough in the case. The sketches were passed from hand to hand, each person hoping they wouldn't recognize the face staring back at them. The community was terrified but determined to help. Conversations were hushed, and eyes darted around the room, searching for any sign of the killer. Despite the fear, there was a sense of solidarity. The patrons knew that their best chance of catching the Doodler lay in their willingness to come together and share what they knew, no matter how small or insignificant it seemed. Whispers of the Doodler filled the bars. Everyone was a suspect. Trust was shattered. Friends eyed each other with suspicion, and strangers were met with wary glances. The once tight-knit community was now fractured, each person wondering if the killer was someone they knew, someone they had shared a drink with, or even someone they had trusted. A few witnesses came forward. Their voices trembled as they recounted their encounters, each detail adding to the growing profile of the Doodler. They spoke of fleeting glances and brief conversations, moments that had seemed inconsequential at the time, but now took on a sinister significance. They had seen the man in the sketches. The recognition was immediate and chilling. The sketches, though rough, captured the essence of the man they had seen. The witnesses pointed with shaking fingers, their minds racing back to the moments they had crossed paths with the Doodler. They described him as African-American, tall and thin. The details were consistent, painting a picture of a man who could blend into the background yet stand out in their memories. He was a ghost, slipping in and out of their lives, leaving a trail of fear and uncertainty in his wake. He was said to be quiet, unassuming, the kind of person who could sit in a crowded bar and go unnoticed. Yet there was something about him that lingered in the minds of those who had seen him, a quiet intensity, a sense of purpose that set him apart from the rest, a face in the crowd. He was everywhere and nowhere, a shadow that moved among them. The patrons tried to recall every detail, every interaction, but the memories were elusive, slipping through their fingers like sand. But their memories were fragmented, blurred by fear and time. The passage of time had dulled the edges of their recollections, and the fear that gripped them made it hard to think clearly. They struggled to piece together the fragments, hoping that somewhere in the haze they would find the key to unmasking the Doodler. The investigation dragged on. Leads turned into dead ends. Witnesses recanted their stories. The fear of being outed, of being ostracized, kept many silent. The Doodler, it seemed, had vanished into thin air. The case went cold. Years turned into decades. The families of the victims were left with unanswered questions. They were denied justice. The Doodler's shadow continued to hang over San Francisco. But even in the coldest of cases, hope flickers. In the darkest corners of unsolved mysteries, there lies a faint glimmer of possibility, a spark that refuses to be extinguished. This is the story of one such case where the past and present collide in a quest for justice. Advances in forensic science, particularly genetic genealogy, offered a glimmer. These breakthroughs have revolutionized the way we approach cold cases, providing new tools and techniques to uncover the truth. Scientists and investigators work tirelessly, analyzing every piece of evidence with meticulous care. DNA evidence from the crime scenes was re-examined, every fragment of genetic material was scrutinized, every possibility explored. The hope was that modern technology could reveal what had been hidden for decades, that the secrets locked within the DNA could finally be unlocked. It was compared to public databases, searching for a match, for a relative, for anything that could lead them to the Doodler. The process was painstaking, requiring patience and precision. Each comparison brought them one step closer, each potential match a beacon of hope. The police announced a renewed effort to solve the case. They were determined to bring closure to the victims' families and to the community that had lived in fear for so long. The announcement was met with a mix of hope and skepticism, but the resolve of the investigators was unwavering. They released updated sketches, hoping to jog someone's memory. They offered a reward. The new images were more detailed, more lifelike, capturing the essence of the suspect in a way that previous sketches had not. The reward was substantial, a testament to the seriousness of their commitment. The city held its breath. The streets, once bustling with activity, now seemed to echo with the whispers of the past. People looked over their shoulders, wondering if the Doodler was still among them, if the nightmare was truly over. Could this be the break they had been waiting for? The detectives, the scientists, the families, all of them held onto that hope. The skyline of San Francisco stood as a silent witness to their efforts, a city on the brink of uncovering a long-buried truth. The journey was far from over, but the path to justice had never been clearer. The Doodler's reign of terror might have ended decades ago, but the scars he left on San Francisco run deep. The gay community, once a beacon of hope and acceptance, was left shaken. Fear and suspicion lingered. The case serves as a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of marginalized communities. It highlights the dangers of prejudice and silence. It forces us to confront the dark underbelly of society. Despite the renewed efforts, the Doodler remains unidentified. The questions linger. Who was he? Why did he kill? Did he have other victims? The lack of answers is a heavy weight to bear. It is a constant reminder of the fragility of life, of the indiscriminate nature of violence. The families of the victims are trapped in a perpetual state of mourning. They are denied closure, left to grapple with the unknown. The Doodler's story is a haunting reminder that some monsters walk among us, their true faces hidden. They disappear into the fabric of society, leaving behind a trail of pain and unanswered questions. Their crimes, though unsolved, continue to echo through time, casting a long shadow over the present. The fog may have cleared, but the memory of the Doodler remains, a ghost story whispered on the streets of San Francisco. A chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved.